Hello everybody, Dispathy here. Today I'm going to show you how to set up a trade bot. There's been a lot of talk in the Allegiance about setting them up and how people are a little bit confused on how to do so. So let's take care of that today. All of the links to things we're going to be using today will be in the description below. But really most of the information is found right on the SkunkTrader webs page, or GitLab page rather. Then it's really step-by-step instructions. So first you're going to install Decal. Mostly everybody's done this by now, I'm assuming. Beyond that, you're going to want to install SkunkWorks, which is the plugin for Decal that ultimately is going to run the TradeBot script later on. From there, they recommend installing SkunkWorks to C games SkunkWorks. Sometimes with Windows, it causes issues if you put it in the program files directory, so just listen to them, do that. Next you need to update a DLL file, skapi.dll. This file is linked here as well, and in the description. All you have to do is just extract it to where you installed SkunkWorks, so C game SkunkWorks, and overwrite the existing file. So when it asks, just go ahead and overwrite it. Next, we're on actually installing the trading script, which would be SkunkTrader. So you're going to want to go ahead and download that. I'll put the link in the description again. And extract it to the SkunkWorks directory. So again, C games SkunkWorks. So now, that's really the setup process done. From here on out, it's all going to be within Asheron's call for the most part. So, I've already installed all these things. It's just like installing any other program. I'm not going to install them again. You should have a couple different files like SkunkTrader, the redistributable, Decal, SkunkWorks itself, and the updated Skapi file. So if you have all these things, maybe give or take Decal and the redistributable, because you might already have done that, you're probably okay. Moving on to Asheron's call, though. So, here we are in game. I'm on my trade bot here now. So, if I'm looking at this here, I've got my Decal bar off to the side. You might have yours along the top, or the left-hand side, or wherever. You can move it around and such. So, you're gonna see the SkunkWorks icon, the picture of the skunk. So go ahead and click on that. And then from in here, you might see SkunkTrader within here. If not, click on these three little dots, and you'll be able to locate it on your computer, which again will be in C games SkunkWorks. So once you have SkunkTrader.swx located here, you're just going to head and click go. Sorry about that, my game alt tab for some reason. Anyway, after you click go, you'll be presented with this little green circle with the taper in it. I don't have it active right now, just for the purpose of this video, but when you are ready to start your bot, you check this active bot. It usually does it automatically. From here, you have all sorts of configuration options. Most of the stuff here is going to be perfectly fine the way it is. The only real one I would say to enable is the login script. If you want to... basically what this allows you to do is set up the automatic login if your bot goes offline. So that way you're not losing out on money if the server restarts, your internet drops, so on and so forth. So go ahead and set that to true, because I'm going to show you how to set that up later in the video as well. Mostly everything else here, as far as the default stuff, is fine. I personally turned this to true, show identical common items in the trade window, so that it shows I have, say, 12 pyro bars rather than showing only one of them, and then my bot saying, hey, I have 12 more of these. I just like it for the purpose of people looking at my bot. It makes more sense. They can directly see what I have in stock. But that's a personal preference. Next, onto the selling tab, you're going to go ahead Actually, we'll come back to this. Go ahead and skip the selling and go to your point tab. From here, you're going to add in what you want for points and what those are going to be valued at. So, you're going to type in the item name. If you want, say, MMDs, you'd type in trade note 250,000 like I've already done here. And from there, you will type in the value you want. In my case, I value them at 1 point. This is a pretty standard value for a trade note of that amount. Next, you can go back to the selling tab after you've established what you're going to take for payment, and go ahead and click on the scan button. This will give you basically every item you have on your character and what you value, or sorry, what you're going to value the item at. I've already valued mine. So, for example, if you have a white plant here, this will initially be unchecked. You go ahead and check it if you want to sell that. And then underneath the price, you'll see usually just blank. There won't be anything there. It'll look a little weird. But if you click on that little blank spot, it'll bring up another window that gives you the option to value that item. So if I wanted to value my TradeBot shirt at 1 MMD, I just put in 1 because I valued the MMD earlier at 1 point. So you have a couple different tabs here. The common tab will be things like diamond scarabs, diamond powders, writs, plants, stuff that is common. Trade notes. From here, though, if you switch over to the unique tab, you're going to have a few different things, such as weapons and armor and jewelry and things of that nature. And you can go ahead and set the price on these things in here as well. And don't worry, if you don't, say if I had this bloodstone dagger and I didn't want to sell it, if I uncheck that, it won't be put in the trade window. So it's safe to still store things on your mule, but I wouldn't recommend it if you have a lot of stuff to sell. Salvage is a little different. So with salvage, you actually price it based on the workmanship. In the case of, say, aquamarine or black opal, where they're rending salvage, the workmanship really doesn't matter, so you're going to price them all the same, really. Quick tip, rend salvage goes for about 2 bags for 1 MMD. Don't really go lower than this if you don't want to crash the market. If you go higher, you're probably going to have a hard time selling it. In other cases, such as, let me see if I can find it here really quick. Let's say my opal. I do the same thing with steel and such. I just value it at 1 MMD each. It's not as common as rend salvage. You're not going to get as much of it. And a bag of Work 10 opal, I feel, is worth 1 MMD. So, and this is pretty standard again with Work 10's salvage. It's typically about 1 MMD. You might get more for, say, granite or something that's not as common, but a lot of people don't usually sell that. I'll be honest, I haven't played with item sets any myself, but this does allow you to set up a set of items to sell, say, a set of quest armor, instead of selling the individual pieces. You can actually say, hey, this whole set of armor is worth 250 MMDs, and then the bot won't sell it as individual pieces anymore. The discount button at the top can be set as a global discount, so everybody in the server gets this discount. The default button will let you set the default price for items, so say you just have a bot, everything on it's going to be 1 MMD, everything on it's going to be half an MMD, whatever it is you choose, you can set that default price, and then when you dump your items on the bot, it'll just automatically set the price to that price. For everything, mind you. Alright, so that pretty much covers this. I'm not going to talk about loot profiles. I don't know anything about it, so... and it's really not necessary to run your bot. We're going to go to the Announcements tab next. From here, It's really just a matter of setting what you want your character to say either in the general chat, such as clearance section and Iron Man here have, or if you want, say, insert MMDs, like he has here, to say something in the trade chat. Don't say anything in the general chat with your trade bot. They will mute your bot. Keep it to the trade channel or the open speech. Really simple here. If you want to make a new announcement, you click on New. You type in what you want, so if you want it in the trade channel, you'd start it with /CT, and then your message. You don't need to add the T at the end. The program automatically does that for you. Alright, next we come to the Players tab. So, in here you have a couple options. For our Legions, Dareth Troopers, I have given a 100% discount across the board. Anybody in the Legions with the trust system can come take what they need off my bot and not pay a dime for it. It's gone pretty well so far. There have been instances with other people where it's gone poorly though, and their whole bot's been cleared out. It's a do it at your own risk scenario. You don't have to do this, it's just a nice thing. But, that being said, if you wanted to just give, say, a player discount, a patron discount, or in this case a monarchy discount, you would just go ahead and type in the amount based on what you'd like to do. So, for example, if I want to give Robin here a discount directly, if he wasn't in the Allegiance, I could just go ahead and hit New Player, type in his name, and then it would give me another character in here similar to Dareth Troopers, and because I just want that player to have the discount, I'd put it under PLAD, and then I'll give him 100%. So, it's automatically active after that, you don't have to click anything else. The Ignore tab it's basically that. You can ignore a player if they're abusing your bot in some way. I haven't had to use it. Chances are you probably won't either. But, again, you click Ignore Player, type in the name. The Accounts tab just shows basically everybody's points on your bot if they had some leftover. In some cases like Gorumda or like Aussie, they have a large points amount because they paid even though they're in the Allegiance and they get the discount. Other ones like this, the 0.7s, they bought something and there's a little bit left over. These will stay here until somebody uses them or whatever. You can't really do anything to them. There's really no reason for it other than to keep balance on people's, well, balance. The inventory tab is actually really useful. It'll list everything in your inventory, the price, and how long you've had it in your inventory. So, I've been a little slack lately, but typically anything over 2 weeks old that hasn't sold, I'll either lower the price or I'll drop it at Mansion. As you can see, I have lots of stuff there, it's been there much longer. So, it just allows you to keep track of your inventory a little easier if you're like, man, how long has, this random Reddit weapon been here? I can go find out. The message tab, it's just what it is. People can leave you messages so that you can see it if you're not at the keyboard. In this case, when I first started my bot, Corby had messaged me saying that I had my Pyro bars a little too cheap. And that's the thing too, and I've made the mistake, everybody will make that mistake. Try and look at the prices around you and match them or just slightly undercut them, not anything huge, because we don't want to crash the market. Once the market's gone, it's gone. So just always keep that in mind when you're selling things. You might think, oh, I can get 100 of these and sell them for an MMD a piece where everybody else is selling them for 4 MMDs a piece. But it's ultimately just going to kill the market, and you could be making a lot more money. Why not sell them for more? They might take a little bit longer, but it's profit in the end. Your transactions tab. You can actually go here and keep track of all of your transactions that people have done with you. So, say, you know, for this example here, I can click on the pyro bar. It was 0 points, so something in our legions, and I can see that Reese, it looks like, had taken the pyro bar. Must have needed it for a quest or something. I can see, 33.3 points. Looks like I sold 100 diamond scarabs to Shelly Bits. This is great if you notice somebody buying a lot of your items. You can personally message them and see if they're interested in bulk buying or something of that nature. Or if you notice that a lot of items are going missing, you can keep track of who's taking what and possibly ignore that player if need be. We're not going to worry about the debug tab, it's really not necessary. All in all, once you're ready and you think you're all set up, just go ahead and hit the active button, and your bot's active. It's good to go. People can come up when they open trade; they'll be able to use it. There's really nothing else you need to do as far as setting the bot up itself goes. Now, earlier on in this video, I mentioned setting up the automatic login script for it. This is recommended just because if the server restarts or you get disconnected, you'll be able to have your character automatically log in. So, for this portion, the only real thing you need to do in-game would be, again, to go to that config tab and go to main, and make sure the login script enabled is true. And then we're going to go back to our desktop. Sorry, it's being a little weird there. Okay, so we're going to go to our desktop here. And from here, if we scroll down this page, it'll actually tell us a little bit more on how to do this. It's really simple. So, for the SkunkWorks portion of it, you're going to find your SkunkWorks window here. It'll look something similar to this. You're going to go to Configure. Sorry, move this. Sorry, you're going to go Configure and then Login Script. And then you're going to go to Run this script on login. And as you can see, I didn't listen. I put my file in the SkunkWorks directory. But you're going to go to your SkunkWorks directory, and you're going to find SkunkTrader.swx. So in your case, if you followed the start of the video, see Games, SkunkWorks, SkunkTrader, and then SkunkTrader_loginscript.swx. Once you have this selected, just go ahead and hit OK. So that means that now when that character logs in my case, Dismule the First, it will, it'll launch my TradeBot script automatically, so I won't have to activate it or do anything there. That being said, the next portion on I'm blanking here. The next portion on Thorgal Launcher, you won't be able to, or I won't really be able to show you, just because of the fact my login information is there. You have to go into the Advanced tab on Thorgal Launcher, and in the top right hand corner of Thorgal Launcher, there is an option for auto launch. If you have this checked, and then check your TradeBot account and the server, and select the character you want for that server, Thorg Launcher will automatically relaunch AC anytime it crashes, and then SkunkWorks will relaunch your SkunkTrader script when it logs into that character. Therefore, keeping your bot online essentially 24/7 as long as the server is online. For this last portion with the Thorg Launcher, there is documentation online on how to set this up. I will try and link it in the description below, and I will go ahead and help you if you message me in game as Dyspathy. So, I hope this was helpful in setting up your trade bot. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. It might not have been the clearest video, but I hope it helps.